Right, guys, so as a coach, procrastination is obviously something that I help people with a lot. I think when it comes to your training and nutrition, it's one of them things where it's really easy to justify not doing it. If if it comes to training, like you might be like, oh, I've got to work more, or I've got to go do this, I'm tired. There's plenty of things you can do, tell yourself anyway, that can create this procrastination and prevent you from actually doing what you set out to do and what you actually want to do. And it's the same with nutrition as well. More often than not with clients or myself as well, like these are things that I've been through myself, and I suppose that's why I have the experience with it and know how to, not got ideas of how to work around it. With nutrition, you can tell yourself, oh, I'll just prep my meals in the morning, or it's all right, I'll get some food on the way to work, or these sort of things that you can tell yourself. And these are the sort of things that you want to remove. Although they can be handy at times, like sometimes there are days where, like for myself, I work long hours. I also coach online, and I've got family and stuff like that. So there can be evenings where I am getting in at 10 o'clock and I am tired. So I will prep my meals in the morning, but I do it. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not procrastinating in that situation. I'm doing it, but I'm going to do it the next day. I don't ever really not leave the house with my meals, because ultimately if I do that, it's unlikely I'm going to eat. So these are a few things, these are my 5 top tips that have helped me, as well as clients as well. Many clients work around these things. You might not necessarily need all 5, but there could be some here that will help you. So tip 1 is planning ahead. Now this seems a bit obvious, but if you don't plan ahead, like for example, with your nutrition, if you don't plan when you're going to prep your meals or what meals you're going to prep, you are going to struggle, because we've only got so much willpower, so much energy throughout the day. Now if it comes to you're getting home from work and stuff like that, and then you're deciding what meals you got to prep, you haven't taken the chicken out, for example, or which we've all been there before, and these kind of things, will massively prevent you from doing it, and they take a lot of energy. Whereas if you know what days you're prepping, for example, Sunday and Wednesday are the days that I prep, this makes sure that I'm prepared. I prep the meat and stuff like that, and then I actually do it every evening. I put it into the Tupperware, and it doesn't take very long because I've already prepped the meals. So it's really important to do that, and also with regards to your training. So one of the things that I do, which is ridiculously helpful, is I actually prep my gym clothes and stuff, put them in my bag, pack my bag the night before, because what this means is that I don't have to do it in the morning. And quite often, especially if I'm training first thing in the morning, having my clothes already out just makes that morning a lot easier, a lot smoother. I get up, do what I need to do, get ready for the gym and go. Whereas there'd been mornings in the past which I used to just wing it every morning, where I might not be able to find a gym top, or I might not be able to find a vest, or it's one of them things you don't want to wake people up in the morning and stuff like that. So preparing is such a big thing. It makes a huge difference when it comes to preventing that happening, like that procrastination, and not actually following through with what you're trying to do. Tip 2 is just being realistic. If you're planning on training 5 to 7 times a week, and you actually probably can't, although you'd like to, this can create it as well, because you tend to then go, well, I was aiming for 5, I'm only going to get 3 in, so what's the point? And this is something that I personally have had to change quite a lot recently, due to becoming a dad, and having a lot more of workload on with regards to my full-time job, as well as this online coaching and stuff, and PT and that. And it's something that I've had to deal with myself. There was a point where I was trying to achieve 5 to 7 times a week, and it just wasn't happening. So I made some small adjustments. I bought an exercise bike for home, so I can get my cardio in on the days that I don't train, and I train less now. I train 3 to 4 times a week, very effective sessions, and to be fair, it actually benefits me a lot more, because my energy levels are better, and I'm able to manage my energy levels better. But it also allows me to play catch up. So if, for example, things do come up, family things, work things, stuff like that, it's more realistic for me to achieve my training sessions, because you know, I can get 3 sessions in. I know I can do that. If it means that I train Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first thing in the morning, I can do that. Whereas if you're trying to train 5 times a week and things come up at the start of the week, it can really throw you off, and actually for a lot of people stops them from going to the gym at all. So take that into consideration. You know, being realistic is a big thing, and that goes with your nutrition as well. You know, like ultimately if you're eating plain food all the time, you don't actually enjoy it, or you need to prep 6 or 7 meals a day but it's not really possible for you, it is going to create that. You are going to go to yourself, you are going to justify not doing it, and that is the biggest thing, is trying to remove that sort of barrier for you to actually do these things, and being realistic and almost under setting goals so that you're more likely to overachieve can be really beneficial, in the sense of like, say like for me a minimum's 3 sessions a week. If I hit 4 or 5 sessions a week, I'm over the moon. But I'm also fully aware that some weeks are just going to be 3, and that could be the same with your food as well. You know, like understand that at least if you're getting, you know what snacks you're having, you've got breakfast prep, lunch prep, you're gonna have dinner when you come back, like you've made that achievable. And if you're under your calories, then you can make adjustments. You can maybe have a snack in the evening or something like that. So it's about also making meals that are realistic as well, making the food realistic. This can go a very, very long way when it comes to achieving your goals, because ultimately consistency is a huge part of it. And if you're, you know, expecting, for example, like I've got clients that are electricians or people that work in the city, and it's like, if I'm saying to them have avocado on toast with 2 boiled eggs or 2 fried eggs in the morning, and it's like, well, I've got to get on a train at 6 in the morning, 6:30 or whatever. That's not realistic. So making the meals realistic to your lifestyle is also a big part of it. Tip 3, do it straight away. You know, like don't go sit down, or like when you get home, if it's possible, get on with it straight away. Like for me, a lot of my evenings I get in, I make my son's dinner, whilst I'm doing that, I'm washing up Tupperware that I've had for that day, I'm getting food prepped, you know, I'm doing it straight away, I'm making that there straight away, because if you leave it until last thing, once again, it can then move into the morning and so on and so forth. So that's a great way to do it. It's like, just do it straight away, make it part of your routine. And this is the same with the gym as well, you know, like you've got 2 options really when it comes to gym for most of us. You know, it's either train first thing in the morning or train straight after work or late in the evening. Now, the only time that I will ever train late in the evening is when I've got a lot going on, but I still do it straight away. I do it once them things are done. If I'm put my son to bed, he's asleep, I'll go to the gym. You know, there's no sitting around for half an hour, chilling out or anything like that, because what happens then is I start to think, oh, well, you know, I'll just train tomorrow or something like that. And this can happen with a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I spend a lot of my time training at 5:30 in the morning, because that's what time I can get in there. Everyone else is asleep, I get up early, and that sort of gets that done in the morning and out of the way. So it's done first thing, and then the rest of the day is for everything else that needs to be done. So this can be a great way to avoid skipping sessions, and obviously making sure that your food's on track. Just do it straight away, don't rest. Do rest, but don't have that 30-minute break. I'm just going to sit down and watch this. Just get it done. Just get it done, because you'll be able to relax better anyway, because you don't have to sit there and think about the things that you need to do. Now, some days are very long for me, so when I do train in the evening, there is very minimal rest time, but ultimately, I want to go to the gym. The gym is a big part of my life. It makes me feel good. It's something I want to do. It helps me build my self-confidence, because I've set out to achieve a certain thing each week. And that is one of the things that are very, very, you know, it's very rewarding part of training, is that if you set that goal each week and you achieve it, it builds your self-confidence. You feel more confident in yourself because you actually follow through with what you're setting out to do, keeping promises to yourself. And for me, that is a bigger thing than sitting down and watching Netflix in the evening. Number 4, create a positive reward system. So this can be, you know, this isn't necessarily like, all right, I've been to the gym this week, I'm going to go on holiday. It can be anything from like the self-talk that you give yourself, you know, like give yourself a pat on the back, because ultimately it's very likely that beforehand you wasn't actually following through with a lot of stuff you was doing. So if you can sit there and just say to yourself, do you know what, like that's my sort of like reward system, is that I sit there and I'm like, great, got my meals in every day. I've achieved my water intake, I've managed to get my sleep, you know, the best I possibly can, I've got all my sessions in. That builds me up, that makes me feel good. And that's my reward system. It's something that's very beneficial. And then, you know, it can be the point that I buy myself some supplements, I buy myself some gym stuff, because I'm sticking to what I'm doing. So I know that them things are going to get used, and I know that these are going to benefit me, you know. Whereas like if you're buying a load of supplements but you're not actually using them, you're not actually going to the gym, like, I mean, the supplements that I buy are more beneficial for like my health, stress, stuff like that, sleep, and they're not cheap, but they help me with what I'm trying to do, and it's a nice little way to do things. So creating some sort of positive reward system can be very helpful. What I do is I get my clients to focus on their wins. So each week when we go through our check-ins, I ask them to like list their wins for the week. And this is a great way for them to assess their week and be like, do you know what, actually, I've achieved this, I've achieved that. And that is positive, that makes them feel good. The amount of times that, you know, clients have potentially not felt too good, thought, oh, you know, and I'm like, right, well, what have you done this week? And they're like, oh, well, have you got all your meals in? Yeah. Have you achieved your activity? Yeah. Have you done your workouts? Yeah. You've smashed it. That is all that you need to do. These are the things that you need to do to achieve your results. You don't necessarily need to have the most absolute optimal workouts, you know, especially if you're busy. You're going to have these sessions, you're going to have these days, and it's just really important that sometimes, you know what, I haven't achieved all my meals this week, but what I have done is I've got my cardio in, I've got my workouts in, and I've managed to maintain a lot of consistency within my food. But a few days might have been off, you know, I might have had a bit over, I might have had a bit under, and that's okay. So it's really important to focus on your small wins, create some sort of positive reward system within yourself, or if it does help, buy yourself some gym gear, buy yourself something that correlates to what you're trying to achieve, because it can create a little bit more motivation. You know, if you do buy some supplements, you do buy a new gym top, you know, new vest, whatever, it just creates a little bit more like motivation to go to the gym sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But obviously don't go like too crazy with it, but it's just a small way of helping and to prevent that procrastination, because what these things can do is create motivation, create more like, you know, focus towards what you're doing, and that can obviously massively reduce you not going and massively increase the chances of you being successful within your journey. Number 5, and probably the most important for me anyway, is build this around your life. Like, don't try to build your life around this, because that can massively put a lot of stress on this, or stress on your life, which can put you in a position where you don't follow through with it. And remind yourself, you know, it is going to be hard. Don't underestimate this, you know. Like for me, I work very long days, I've got a lot going on with family and stuff, so, you know, I am fully aware of what's ahead. Like, I'm fully aware that I'm going to be getting up at 5 in the morning, and I'm going to be putting my son to bed late at night. I'm going to be cooking dinner, I'm going to be spending time with him, I'm going to be spending time with my partner. Like, I'm fully aware of these things, so it doesn't make me think to myself, oh, I've got a long day today. I'm like, right, I know what I've got to do, I'm going to get it done, because it's built around my lifestyle. And this is probably one of the things that can create, without a doubt, long lasting results and allow you to maintain it, is just being realistic. You know, like, it isn't a short-term thing, so you're better off creating an approach that allows you to do it for a longer period and achieve your results. It might take a bit longer, but ultimately you're going to maintain and keep your results, rather than like trying to do something quick and snappy and like go intense and affect your lifestyle. You know, you don't want to be tired at night, you want to be feeling good. The whole point of it is that not only are you achieving results and building and working on yourself, but you're feeling good for doing it. You know, you don't want to be feeling shitty, you don't want it to take over your life, you want it to slot in with your life. And by doing that, it reduces the likelihood of you not following through with a lot of these things, and massively reduces procrastination, because procrastinating is one of them things that stops a lot of us from following through with our journey. You know, it's just one of them things where more often than not we justify not doing these things because it doesn't play such a huge role in our life, or it is because other things take priority. And that's the thing, is other things will take priority in your life, and you've got to just understand that. But it can be very, very powerful to know that it's actually part of your life, and it can, you know, only if you follow this system and these things, like, it will slot into your life. Like, being able to train 3 times a week is achievable for most people, even if it's twice a week. I've trained guys, I've got a guy into shape for a photo shoot, never been to the gym before, started training with me, trained twice a week, got him ready for a photo shoot, he looked incredible, twice a week. you know, that is possible as long as you manage all the other variables. So it's really important to take that into consideration. I hope these 5 points have helped. You know, they're a big part of what I follow, and they're things that, you know, I feel that have allowed me to maintain what I'm doing and keep progressing, keep pushing myself, and also just manage my life, like, and feel okay about being ridiculously busy. But I know that this is a big part of my life, so take these things into consideration. I hope this helped. You know, if you've got any questions, put in the comment section. You know, like the video if it's been helpful, and obviously if you're not already, then subscribe. But yeah, take these things into consideration, and I hope that helped.